Let's see. What's good, grind schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and we back in the shop today. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. It really helps me out, you know what I'm saying? It helps the algorithm, helps get these videos discovered and into a wider audience, you know what I mean? I would greatly appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate all y'all's love and support and everything like that. So if y'all could go ahead and do that, man, that would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna head to the junkyard and we're gonna try to pull a steering shaft out of a 93 to 94 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So I heard that those are a direct replacement for the steering shafts in these Jeep bodies. And the reason why I want to do that, I'll show you guys in a second, but the reason why I want to do that is because the slop in the steering wheel that I have on this El Camino is terrible. I could move the steering wheel probably about, I don't know, probably about an inch back and forth either way without the car even turning. So that's the reason why I want to change it. I've changed all the front end suspension stuff, like the ball joint, or not the ball joints. I need to still do the ball joints, but I've changed all the tie rods, inner and outer tie rods. I changed the gearbox. I changed all that stuff, and it still has a lot of play in the steering wheel. I thought it was because of my alignment. I feel like it's pretty aligned, and everything is all tightened up, so wheels are kind of like straight. I really still need to go to the shop and get a proper alignment, but they told me that I had to replace my ball joints before I did that. So that's the reason why it hasn't ever had like a proper alignment. And I wanted to wait to get my QA1 suspension or UMI. It doesn't even really matter at this point. I just need to get it done. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna go ahead, head to the junkyard, see if we can snatch this one out of a 93, 94 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Hopefully it's not too difficult, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. So anyways, let me show you what I'm talking about with the play in the steering wheel, and then I'll cut y'all back on. All right, y'all. So I'm not going to start the car, but I think that if I unlock the steering wheel and just turn it into the on position, I can show you what I'm talking about. This is pretty much what I get when I'm driving. Now you can see that I can turn it either way pretty substantially before the wheels even turn. So the tension is when the wheels are starting to turn. So that's even when the car is started, even when the car is on. So when I'm turning the wheel, like I'm driving and it's just going down the road, just, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth the whole entire time before it even gets to the like turning point. So what I think is happening is these steering shafts, I think they get old after a while, and they start to like obviously lose their luster or whatever you want to call it, man. But I think this joint right here is the culprit. It starts to just really get loose inside of there, and it just has so much slop in there. Also up here. So pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get a solid steering shaft that doesn't have all of that play in it, and then we're gonna replace it. So let's go ahead and head to the junkyard, and that's what we'll do. All right, grind schoolers, we are at the junkyard. Just walking in, I found what I need. This black Jeep right here. I already walked in and checked it out. It's a 93, and the steering shaft is in there. Only problem that we're gonna have is the bolts are upside down in there, and the steering wheel does have a lock on it, so I can't really turn the shaft or whatever. But pretty much what I'm looking for is that steering shaft down there. So I'm gonna try to do this as efficiently and as quickly as possible. So I got some other stuff to do. There's 2 bolts. It should rip right up out of there, and then I have my shaft. So let's get to it. Let's knock it out and get it done. All right, grind schoolers. That's what we came to get right there. That's gonna go in the G body. Let's have this 94 Grand Cherokee. I guess it gotta be a 94 on down. It took some work to get it, but we got it. So I'm gonna take this home, probably clean it up, and yeah, so mission accomplished. I had to come back to the junkyard. I had to leave earlier. I was working on the other one that I said I walked in here and found over there, but it was just too difficult to get to. So I found this one. I was able to turn the steering wheel and make it work. So I made it happen, got the bolts out, and we on our way. So we about to go ahead and go throw this into the Elko right now. All right, y'all, so we back from the junkyard. We got the steering shaft, and as you can see, the knuckles are a little bit more firm on this steering shaft. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably clean this up with some Scotch-Brite, a little bit of Scotch-Brite, and I was gonna paint it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that just yet. Maybe down the road or down the line I'll probably paint it. I just want to make sure that this is gonna work when I put it in, and that it fixes my issue. That's a huge part of the reason why like this car is not enjoyable to drive, is the steering and the brakes. This car is kind of freaky to drive because it doesn't brake too well, and the steering is so sloppy. Like I said, I've replaced this gearbox before, and when I went to go get it adjusted lock to lock, because one side the steering wheel turns further than the other side, and so when I put it in here, I didn't adjust it. So I just took it to somebody to get it adjusted. They said they couldn't adjust it because I needed new ball joints and they weren't comfortable doing it. So that's the reason why that has never been adjusted. But I'm in the process of getting all that stuff fixed now. What I want to do is go ahead and do my like QA1 suspension, all that kind of stuff. Like I told you guys in the last video, I have to do suspension, brakes, and wheels and tires at the same time. So, you know, it's going to be pretty pricey to get all of that stuff done at once, because I don't want to go in, do the suspension, and then, you know, have to wait on the brakes, and then come back in and do the brakes, tear everything back apart to switch the spindles and all that stuff. I'd rather just do it all together, all at once, get it done, and keep it moving. And that requires bigger wheels and tires. So, like I said, man, in my last video, that's the issue there. We're gonna go ahead and snatch this steering shaft out. It's just this bolt down here. At the junkyard, it was a 13 millimeter. I don't think that's gonna be the same thing. This kind of looks a little smaller, maybe like a 10 millimeter. That one there probably is a little bit bigger, so they don't look like they're the same. That bolt right there is a little bit bigger, but it's just those 2 bolts. And then we can go ahead and snatch this steering shaft out, and then I'll probably have to adjust this this coil wire that I have here. I'll probably just pull it back a little bit because it looks like it's rubbing up against the steering shaft. And last time that happened on my Tahoe, I took it to Chevy, they drove it, and the wire snatched out of the steering shaft, so, or out of the spark plug. So the spark plug wire snatched off of the spark plug boot, or spark plug wire snatched off of the spark plug, and they lost it, so they had to replace it. And that was due to it rubbing up and down the steering shaft, and I guess when they turned, it just snatched it right out. So I don't want that to happen with this. That has not previously been an issue, but you know, I don't want it to become one. So let's go ahead and hit these bolts right here, snatch this steering shaft out, and then we'll replace it, and then we'll go ahead and go on a test drive and see what it's like. All right, you can kind of see the differences between this steering shaft, the old one, and the new one. The new one looks like it doesn't have a rubber boot. This probably has some oil in it before, which is probably the reason why there's no tension in it. I don't know much about steering shafts and nothing like that. All I know is it needs to be replaced. But yeah, you can see that this looks like it's a little bit like busted up or whatever. Definitely needs to be replaced. But I guess this is obviously a common problem because there's a ton of threads out there replacing Jeep steering shafts into Jeep bodies. So obviously if this is successful, we'll go ahead and throw out this trash and then keep this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and compress this and then put it into the car, and then if it works, we'll go ahead and throw that one out. So I'm using my torch to heat this little knuckle up so I can expand it a little bit, because it's just a little bit too tight for me to slide it onto the shaft, the old one. So I'm just heating it up so I can expand it just a little bit, and then I can slide it on there. So yeah, I did end up having to use my torch. I was trying to prevent it, but oh well. It'll be easy peasy once I'm done. So all right, y'all. So got the shaft in there. I had to use the torch on it quite a bit. I had to use the torch on it back up there. I had to drill a little bit. I had to drill out, like, I guess you could shave it off or grind it down. You have to grind this top piece a little bit for the bolt to go through. I just drilled it through the hole so that I could just, you know, it was already on there. It was a little bit easier for me to just drill it. And then I had to use the torch on the shaft in order to move it back and forth to compress it and then decompress it. So that was all done. And so now we're about to go ahead and see what this thing does, and hopefully it fixes the issue to an extent. I'm not expecting it to be perfect because, like I said, it still needs a little bit of work. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this thing up and then let it warm up a little bit. I'll let y'all hear it, and then yeah, we'll go from there. This thing sounds amazing, man. I love this small block. That cam chopping, real nice. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna let it warm up, and we'll take it for a spin real quick around the block and see what it does. Alright, it seems like that has fixed my problem. So when I turn the wheel, the car turns. There's not very much slack in the wheel, so I think that fixed my problem. It still needs alignment. I still need to align the wheel because it's still not all the way aligned, but I think we're good to go, man. I think we called fall on this one. I'm gonna get everything else done for the rest of the suspension, and she should be good to go. But it's hard to record and steer at the same time because I ain't got power steering. So I'm gonna go ahead and start driving, have a little bit of fun, and then I'll cut y'all back on in a second. All right, let's see if I can do it. I'm gonna try to just stomp the gas and let the tires break loose. Hopefully it break loose. I'm gonna try to hold the phone and do it at the same time. So let's see. This car, man. Oh man, I know I got super excited just now, but yo, this car got some juice in it, baby. Let's go. These 11s are from a small block. They go all the way down here. From a small block. Cammed out. And they keep going. Keep going. Ain't like my Camaro, but hey, a small block, and that's just me stomping on the gas. I didn't even do a standing burnout. Let's go, baby. She running. She is running. She sounds stupid healthy. So I had to run an errand. I had to go get a door. But yeah, listen to that damn chop, man. Listen to it chop. Yeah, man, we're just working on this I can see I need to work on, but you know, if the car don't break, then everything is solid. If it does break, then you know we got some weak points. That steering shaft, it seems to be doing pretty well. Like I said, a lot of that slop in the steering wheel is gone. The car still needs to be tightened up as far as, you know, the ball joints and, you know, everything else that's down there. All that needs to be tightened up and fixed up and, you know, good to go too. So once I can get all the suspension work done, this thing should be like mint. Everything should be good. So yeah, man, I'm gonna just keep on driving, see what we can what we need to work on and stuff, and then like I said, we'll go from there. It seems like the brakes aren't actually too bad, you know what I mean? The last time I drove it, I had to make some sudden stops, and it was pretty sketchy trying to stop the car, but it seems like it's all right. But anyways, man, let me make it to my destination, and then once I get back home, I'll talk to you guys about the car, and then wrap this thing up. All right, grind schoolers, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. I tried to have a little bit of fun in the Elko today, just because of the simple fact that I haven't driven a car in so long. Well, I take that back. I have driven a car, but just around the block or whatever, but I haven't taken it super duper far. I'm trying to spread its legs a little bit so that, you know what I mean, like I can so I can get comfortable driving the car again, because I used to drive it all the time, and nothing has really changed besides the little stuff that I've been tinkering on. So anyways, it seemed like everything is all good. It still needs some tuning, because when I stomped on the gas to do the burnout, it gave me a little hesitation at first, and I think that's because it's starving for fuel. The air fuel mixture is off a little bit when I hit the gas. So pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna tune it. I'm probably gonna replace the fuel lines on it too, and then obviously we'll probably go with electric fuel pump and all that kind of stuff. There's so much to still get done on the car, but like I said, I just want to change the steering shaft. It seems like it's a lot better steering. The steering still needs to be tightened up a little bit. Steering wheel still needs to be straightened out, but other than that, man, it looks good. I think everything is good. As far as the header bolts, like I said, I tightened those up last time. I didn't hear the ticking sound that you usually hear when you have an exhaust leak. So I think everything is coming together. Everything is all good. We're just gonna continue to keep buttoning things up. And then once I can get some new wheels and suspension and all that other good stuff, we'll be good to go. I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm probably gonna get a new starter, because when I start the car after it heats up, it has this like crunching sound, and it's probably because the starter's not shimmed or anything like that, but the starter that I got in there is like the stock starter. It's a replacement for the stock starter, and it's a huge starter. I want a mini starter, something a little bit less bulky in there, so that I can, you know, make it better. But anyways, yeah, like I said, just buttoning things up and getting things ready to go, and that's it. But I thank you guys so much for your support. Appreciate everything that y'all do for me, commenting, liking, and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, like I always say. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you get a notification every single time we drop another video. And always remember, work hard so you can live free.